like the video, comment on the video, subscribe, share the video. Do those things. You get here to win a hat. One of y'all is going to win a hat. We're going to talk about engines and stuff, and rotaries and V8s and LS swaps and K-series swaps and all the things. You might wonder why I brought you all here and why I'm sitting in an engine bay where an engine is supposed to be. Well, that is because we blew it up at Grid Life, and now I'm sitting in here to make myself feel better about owning a race car. And actually, I broke my back getting into this, and it's at a very weird angle on the transmission. And I'm in a lot of pain, so we might push through or we might get out. I don't know. But, so this video, we're going to talk all about the engine and what we're going to do. I just wondered how Forza came up with the driving cam. You sit like this. You sit in the bay, and you just go, yeah. Oh, my fucking back. Jesus.
I'm an idiot. I left this door open the whole fucking time.
That was painful. Yep. Ow. Wow, that hurt. We are at the apartment. We have the race car. It's been, what is it, December 7th, 10th, something like that. It's basically been a month since I blew up this engine. A month since the Rotary decided it just had to die. It just couldn't live anymore. It was tired of me. It was tired of the boys. So, you know, it just offed itself. And it is what it is. We're going to talk about engines and stuff, and rotaries and V8s and LS swaps and K-series swaps and all the things. Blew the engine up. Second time attack session of the day. Very depressing. Pulled by Coors Light and anger, the boys and I pulled the engine out. We have a time lapse dropped in here as well. Pulled the engine out probably about an hour and a half or so at the track. It wasn't really too hard. The only annoying part was A, finding a drain pan, and B, finding an engine hoist. Fun fact, Subaru guys had an engine hoist. My friend Miles, who used to work for Speed Source, and he's been building race engines for a long time, he called me and was like, hey, just bring the engine on your way home, bring it by the shop, and I will tear it down and we'll see what's up with it. We'll see what happened. So, fun fact, Miles works at a Subaru dealership now, so he knows plenty about reliability. If you need a rotary builder in South Carolina, hit up your boy Miles Fisher. He will take good care. A few things we found in the teardown process. I have some pictures, we'll include them somewhere. I don't know where, but they'll be somewhere. So, we had Miles tore it down, and we found out some pretty major issues to begin with. One, my engine has been leaking water ever since it was built by the last people that built it. I don't actually know who built my engine, because I bought the car in 2012 with the engine in there. We never took it out, never broke it, never destroyed it, so it just stayed. But when they stacked the motor together, one of the coolant, or the coolant seals were pinched in multiple places. So the metal of the housing and the metal of the plate never actually sealed to each other, so we just had some water leaking into the engine for 8 years. So probably why the car didn't like starting. That was an issue. We had a little bit of bearing wear, but not that much. It wasn't horrible. The apex seals were fine, so fuck all of you that says, oh, apex seals break. Oh, it's the apex seals. No, it was the coolant seal, idiot. We killed coolant seals. Apex seals were fine. That was really the only thing that killed it, was the coolant seal. And thankfully, I didn't overheat the car enough to warp a housing. The downfall, though, was we had RA apex seals in there. They tore up housings really well, and then we had some really bad side seal wear. So my current housings from the old motor are really nice and cool paperweights. They're just very cute paperweights. So that's where we're at right now. The motor dying. Miles took it apart. Issues we found: the housings were torn up beyond. I mean, they're fine. They're in a C plus condition, I think, is what Miles said. He didn't want to use them to build a race motor, so he's like, yeah, we're not doing that. Seals, we're going to get new ones because don't like the RA seals. The plates are good. The plates are in okay shape. However, the porting that I was told it had is not what it had. We had some really crappy, small, free-handed street port in there, so thanks for lying to me, boy, whoever sold me the car. So yeah, not a good port. It was pretty bad, but thankfully there's enough meat left on the iron to make a good port. Housings are bad, ports were bad. Those are kind of the main issues there. A lot of JB weld inside the motor and some other questionable things Miles was not a fan of. So now this brings us into motor options. Now, I've strongly considered putting a little 6.0 in this baby and just letting it have fun and having an LS and have torque and have power and drive the thing for the next 25 years as a daily and it never break. I was talking to Holly about helping kind of fund some of it, and realistically it was too expensive. I think for us to do an LS swap right, it was going to cost $10,000, 7 to 10, one of the two. So we couldn't do, well, we could do an LS. I'm not funding an LS because, yeah, I don't have enough money. And I wanted to drive, so a big part of this was timeline. Like, it's the off season. 2020 season was not great for us. I want to come out swinging in 2021, and I don't need to take 6 months to build an engine or put an engine in a car. Two, which came from our buddy Miles, he offered to build me a new 13B. The only things we had to do for it was I'd get him the parts. So that was a little bit harder than expected because we don't have a huge budget here. Basically, the budget is myself and my credit cards. So if any of you wondered how you afford a race, get a bunch of credit cards and max them all out. Actually, don't do that. I don't actually do that. Just don't max out your credit cards, kids. They're not gift cards. It's not good. But no, I am self-funded. We have some funding from a lot of our sponsors and help like that. But the sponsors give us product. Like Nexen gives us tires. Fortunato gives us coilovers. 9 Lives gives us discounts on Aero. And NRG gives us our seats and safety equipment. So they help with the parts aspect of it, but when it comes to getting to races, funding races, entering races, gas, lodging, food, that comes down to me. So that gets expensive. Miles wanted to build a new 13B. So we're guessing, he basically was telling me, he's like, I guess you make 140 horsepower on that engine. Sounds about right. Bud Tino feels about right. That's probably what we made. So Miles wanted to build a big boy race motor. So we're going to shoot for maybe 275-ish wheel is our thought process, and we want to rev it to like 10,000. And we're going to be NA. So to do that and make some power, Miles wants to, well, our thoughts here are doing a semi-peripheral port 13B NA motor. Before you guys ask, oh, why didn't you do PP, James? Why not full PP? Why not that big PP energy? Well, Miles doesn't have the tooling to do full P port, so we just can't. We could, I mean, it could get done, but I don't have the funding to go pay somebody thousands of dollars to PP a set of housings that I got. So we're doing semi because it's what we can do. It'll get the engine up and running. It'll give us more power, and it'll be a good port. So, and that's what Miles is comfortable doing. So Miles is going to do a semi-P 13B engine. And then we'll do a big street port on the primaries or something like that, or maybe do a tiny little eyebrow for some noises. But semi-P is the move. So that's the plan. We're putting a semi-P 13B in the ship box. some parts that's going into this. So here's the parts list for all of you that are going to question me and ask, oh, why didn't you buy this? Or, oh, James, why didn't you buy that? Well, because Miles said no. So there you go. When Miles decided he wanted to build the engine, I let him pick full reign of what he wanted. He got the parts he wanted. He got to choose all the things. And I just said, cool, and bought him. Because I don't know what I'm doing. And he does. Listen to the people that know what they're doing, kids. In the words of Pineapple, you know what you know, and you don't what you don't. So, I don't know anything about rotaries. Fun fact. So, Miles is handling it. So, the parts list for this engine. We're reusing some parts. We're buying new parts. So, the new parts, we got some new housings from Mazda. From Mazda Speed, technically, because, fun fact, if you guys race your cars, if you guys do any sort of competition in your car, and it's a Mazda, and you are not a part of the Mazda Speed program, get in it. It's not that hard. I think you got to run 2 events a year, turn in 2 time slips, and boom, you're in there. Well, you got like apply and stuff, but boom, you get in. So the housings from Mazda are like $1,000 new. My new housings cost me $580 new or $550 new, one of the two. So basically, I got 2 housings, 50% off. That's amazing. So another big reason why we are staying Mazda is because Mazda Speed is fantastic. Did you know the Mazda Miata is the most raced car in the world on any given weekend? Miata is always the answer, and then it's RX-7. So we're getting new housing. Well, so we have new housings. Miles already has had those. I bought them back in November-ish. So we're getting the new housings in. Then there's pictures somewhere, or video. Could be a video. So we have the new housings. Then we got an FD oil pressure regulator. We got a full OEM rebuild kit from Mazda Speed because the Atkins seals that were used in my last motor, they were too fat, didn't really help seal, they got pinched, we're just not dealing with it. So OEM for the seal kit. New control rings, FD oil pressure regulator, a baffle pan from LRB, because fun fact, I didn't have a baffle pan in this engine. So that'll be nice to have. What else? What else we got? We got new apex seals. So we got some high rotary maximum boost seals that Miles only uses. You can get them at Mosmart. Fun fact. Those will be good for the ye old race car, and we're gonna jam some boost into it at some point. Once I get used to this power level, we'll jam boost in there and make more power. So Miles wanted to build a good engine, but he wanted to build it for boost later down the road. So that's why we're using his apex seals. We're using the dowel pins from Pineapple, just the dowels, the new apex seals, the FD oil regulator, the new housings, the 6th and 5th intake port sleeves, because my engine didn't have them for some reason. So we're gonna put those bad boys in. Then those came from Atkins. That's like the only part worth a damn. I think that we think Atkins makes. Miles wanted to build me a race engine that will last a lot longer, drive better, be faster, and more reliable than the last engine. So we're building it, and because of this, we're building it for boost. Now, I don't know if we will ever, well, I would like to boost VFC at some point. We do have a sponsorship with Comp that I need to use. I need to get some turbos. I need to see what happens and see how it does. So Miles is going to go ahead and build the engine for boost. So Miles is just going to build me a really cool race motor 13B semi-peripheral port. And yeah, we're going to drop it in there. So that's our engine plan. So to all the boys that were upset that I was going to go LS or worried I wasn't going to go rotary or whatever, I mean, I don't really care about your opinions because it's my car. But I appreciate you expressing your concern and telling me. So that's the plan. We're going to be rotary. The boys are staying rotary. Now, as we talk about this, I'm wearing this hat the whole time. So when I break things, as y'all know, we create merch to fund what I just broke. When we did the, when we destroyed the ball joint and the suspension and the body of the hill climb, we made stickers. Well, now we made hats. Check out these dope little vintage 80s looking JWR Licks hat. This one's in white, kind of dirty, but definitely let's get some hats. So this is going to help fund our new motor. We got hats. We're going to do some more stickers. They'll be up on my website. Now, like the video, comment on the video, subscribe, share the video. Do those things. You get here to win a hat. One of y'all is going to win a hat. If you don't like hats, we'll get you a sticker. I don't really know. We'll get you something if you don't like hats. But give away a hat. We're getting a spicy new Rotary race engine for the little shitbox FC. So we're getting a new race engine built by Miles Fisher. He's an amazing person. Honestly, if it wasn't for Miles and Miles' speed, we wouldn't be having a Rotary again. So definitely thank those guys. Definitely support those guys. If you are in the Southeast and need a race engine built, I highly recommend you call Miles. He'll take good care of you, and you'll be happy with what you get. So that's kind of where we're at. We can dive more into the engine later. I plan to go down there and film stacking together. Search on Instagram and YouTube and Facebook and all the other social media places that I'm at. But that's our plan. So I think it's going to be good. I'm really excited for this engine. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I think that's about it for this video. Well, thanks for watching. Bye, y'all.